Hello, Carl.
Hey yo, how you doing?
Good, good. How are you?
Sweet, I'm good.
So we can have a look at LeoVegas' newest releases.
Right.
And what I did is I checked out on Big Winning Boards, which has the highest scores. You'll
Cool.
be happy to know that Big Stack Lumberjack is the one game that scores the highest of them all.
Yay.
Well done, well done.
Nice.
And then there's 3 other games that get an 8. The rest
Okay.
is like a 6 or a 7
Yeah,
or not reviewed. So we're going to have a look at Eternal Dusk, um,
that's a cool
Nitropolis
game.
TV, and Mad Blast.
Sweet, sweet. Oh, a hole. Where the fuck is this going? Okay.
But it does seem like intros are back on the table, aren't
I was
they?
thinking about that too, and I'm not sure if that's based on any kind of research or data that supports the investment, or if it's just I don't know. It feels like it's been coming and going for all these years, and it's never been somebody like standing up and saying this is definitely good and helpful. Um, and yet here we see them again. I'm not sure, but yeah, I feel the same. I mean, both Relax and I guess Elk are doing quite a lot of that. Okay, the graphics here are pretty cool. They're kind of keeping the messiness of Nitropolis, but they still have some. It's still quite easy to look at. It's not that dirty. I quite like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
there is
reversing
dirt
more
in
into
there, but
Hacksaw
it's
almost.
yeah, exactly, a little bit, but without being fully hacksaw though.
No. So did your source reveal any reason why they're so excited about this one?
Well, I think it was. It's a guy I know the PO, and this was his first release, so it was
Okay.
maybe mostly that. But I think also his sales guy that was next to him at ICE was a little bit happy about it.
It's interesting how they stepped away from numbering the Nitropolis games as well. Now
Yeah,
they're just doing kind of spin-offs.
yeah, but I can understand where it comes from because after a while it just starts to feel a bit, you know, yeah, like they all drown into each other. Like it's very cool to come with a 2, but then when you come to like the 6th and the 7th and the
Hmm.
8th, it just starts to become a bit watered down.
Yeah.
It's a bit like TV shows. Like you don't want to see Breaking Bad season 7, 8, 9. Maybe then you just want to see Better Call Saul.
Yeah.
And it's a new show.
But I think a lot of people would like Breaking Bad too, though.
Yeah, that would people would really
Yeah.
get behind. But then
But
Breaking Bad 4, 5, 6, 8, maybe not.
I wonder if it's also something to do with the amount of time that is between releases. Because if you
Yeah,
look at the console market, we're at PlayStation 5.
yeah,
PlayStation 6 is gonna be the right way to brand it, not
yeah.
PlayStation whatever. Whereas with Xbox, they came with the unfortunate position that they went live competing against the number 2 already when they launched their first one. So then they couldn't name Xbox 2 when there was a PlayStation 3. So they had to.
Right, so that's why. Okay.
Well, I'm assuming that's why, because it would be kind
Right,
of
yeah,
weird,
makes
right?
sense.
Otherwise, they would be at Xbox 4 against PlayStation 5 now.
Mm,
But then they don't they end up with Xbox One X,
yeah,
Xbox Series S, Xbox Series X. It just becomes a little bit completely ununderstandable what is going on.
yeah, it's a bit of a mess. It was because I remember they came out with Xbox 360. Was that Xbox 2, really?
That was their Xbox 2, yeah. That was
Yeah, okay, so it was
against
Xbox
PlayStation 3.
360. Yeah, but then Xbox One came out as well, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah. That was
That
the one
is a
after
real
that.
mess when they start doing that. Like, one is
Yeah,
the latest of.
yeah.
I kind of hate that. That's where I really lose them. Then I mean, I don't. Maybe they should have just gone with X, Y, Z, And then maybe they could have gone over to Greek letters, so it's like Xbox Omega or Alpha, Delta, Beta, Theta, maybe.
Yeah, it's tricky. Because it's like Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat ended up being Mortal Kombat 11. And now they have Mortal Kombat 1.
Yeah.
And then the next release is going to be Mortal Kombat 2.
They also had that, I think maybe that was Mortal Kombat 10 that became Mortal Kombat XL.
Yeah.
So it was like 10L.
Yeah, that became X and then L when it had the expansion packs.
Oh, right. So that was an expansion pack. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there, it's also a little bit different because they expect and they don't mind full cannibalization. Like once they start selling a PlayStation 6, they don't mind that people stop buying PlayStation 5. Yeah. Like, that there's a clear hierarchy. Like you're now supposed to buy this new one. Yeah. Whereas us with slots, we kind of want to still... There's nothing that got worse about the previous games, right? So we still want there to be interest around, Nitropolis 4 when we release Nitropolis 5, ideally.
Yeah, it's different for sure.
Because we can't really upgrade straight up in the same way that the consoles do. Like, they just straight up upgrade. There's no reason for the old one. It's how it's supposed to be anyways. But with a slot game, it's a new experience, right? So it's more like movies in that sense.
Yeah, it's not a correct analogy, of course, to compare hardware releases with software releases.
Nice. Yeah.
So we got the bonus. Oh, we didn't.
Is this not... You need 4, huh? Damn. Are we sure we don't just need 3 and then... No, we need 3. It's good. I think we got the bonus. Nice.
Okay. Got some flying rats here.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That pays a lot, huh? Interesting. Okay.
For some reason it reminds me of Electric Sam. The sounds, music.
No. I mean, it's kind of a simplified... Maybe that's why also they didn't want to do it, call it Nitropolis 7 or 6. Because they wanted to make it a bit simpler. Because this kind of feels simpler. Which is pretty nice. Okay.
I'm not sure what the stars do.
The stars just increase the multiplier up there, I guess.
Don't they create splits rather than multipliers?
Yeah, but yeah. Kind of the same thing in a ways game.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
No, I mean, having played the other Nitropolis, it feels almost a bit lackluster now that we only have this to look out for. And it's just the symbols. Like, can they even turn wild? Or what do you think?
Yeah, I'm trying to think what it is that I'm actually looking forward to here, if I reach the bonus.
I think the dream is to get... Because they're sticky with the same symbol, right? So the dream is to have the same symbol in the bonus, sticky there, and then wild. So then you can like keep on multiplying up this wild, and you can see the wild rolling by there, so it's definitely possible for the wild to appear. And then you just want to add as many stars as possible to that frame.
Yeah.
Okay, here's something. Okay, big symbols. Yeah. Thing is, it's kind of mechanics that we've seen a lot from Elk. You know, the frames and expanding the grid a little bit upwards, and then the colossal symbols. There's been a lot of games kind of riffing on that theme.
Yeah, we're back in the bonus, so I'm gonna pay attention this time.
Yeah. Okay, another spin.
Okay, so the moment we land a star, we actually unlock the top one. Then if you get a win with it, they respin.
Yeah. Oh, okay. If you win, then you spin. Right, so then we have a chance to get the wild. No, okay, they always... Right. They always...
What just happened there? We landed a bonus symbol and then it reset from 0, the free spins.
Huh?
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
I think it's been counting up, huh?
Interesting concept though, that if you would get something like that in a slot, rather than giving additional spins, you just start from 0.
Yeah. That'd be nice. But it's kind of like tree-shaking, I guess. But one thing, didn't we get a wild on Reel 1 and 2 and it didn't trigger wins?
I didn't realize.
I mean, it was... So it's maybe it's only sometimes it's pay both ways. Jesus. Okay, but this could be nice. Can we get 100
We
X?
love bread.
No, not quite.
Pretty good, but why did it change into that cat symbol?
That was probably a random feature, I'm guessing.
Yeah. So there's depth to it. It's just we haven't figured out how it works.
Yeah, but it's mostly like a kind of a basic structure, and then fun stuff can happen within it, I guess.
Yeah. As far as I understood in the bonus, it was supposed to be both ways.
But it wasn't now.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure. No. Oh yeah, we get the respin on them. Air, no. It's always the same fucking pattern on those. Okay, can we get some kind of respin here?
Ah,
okay, now
okay.
it pays both ways. Right.
Yeah,
he
so
has a special thing.
It's on the left. This TV tells you what happens when the wild lands. Also, we get respins because we won. Okay, so what is the bird gonna say now?
Okay, that was quite difficult to...
Nitro shift.
Nitro shift. Right. We've respawned these scatters for a long time now. Come on.
Yeah. It's a pretty cool feature. For it to have an 8, I can see the potential of it being an 8, but I would have to play it a bit more, I think. Because I do enjoy the Nitropolis games as such.
Yeah.
But if I would... I think if they would have had this as a Nitropolis 6 or a 7, then it would definitely not be an 8 because the expectations are different than what this is. This is like a spin-off that uses Nitropolis elements, that is fun in its own right, but doesn't necessarily add anything new to it. So it's probably
but as
like
its
a 7
own
or
standalone
an 8.
game, is it an 8 for you?
Not so far from what I've seen. I would give it probably a 7. That's my standard IMDb rating for something that I do enjoy, but it didn't set the house on fire.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm kind of in the same boat. It's around a 7 just because it's good. But I'm not seeing anything that is like mind-blowing. Given as well that a lot of the mechanics have been kind of done in some form from Elk.
No. Your old employer.
Yep, Push Gaming. Okay. Some madness going on here for sure.
What's going on?
No, so you can only increase
That's such a low
when
bet.
it's low bet. Huh, that's weird.
I mean, the total bet is super low to begin with.
It's
10
like you're on
sec.
you're like on the German, you're somehow on the German rules. So in Germany, the max bet is €1, which is about 10 sec. And then you can also do bet boost up to €1 kind of thing.
Yeah, but I mean, it's clearly.
I mean, yeah, you're obviously on the Swedish version, but it's like they have applied the German rules to the Swedish version somehow.
Yeah. Can you do this in Germany though?
No, definitely not.
I think it's just a super high volatile game, maybe that they just want to
Yeah.
limit the exposure.
Yeah, maybe Kindred has just said that like we don't want to take any higher than this.
This is LeoVegas.
Oh, like LeoVegas, sorry.
Yeah, so it's their own studio as well.
True.
So where did I get to? I'm confused now. Ah, here it was. Yeah. So I want to do this.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I like your explanation better. That it's just a bug that they've taken the wrong kind of country restrictions. Because if it's your own studio, you're not gonna limit the exposure to that crazy amounts.
Yeah.
Because why would
Yeah,
you? You
I
will
don't
really
know.
push this. You get a lot of turnover on it. You're gonna offset any kind of potential downside of big winners anyway. So it wouldn't make sense.
Still, my solution doesn't really work, because then you would also have, like, if it was just a straight up Germany, then you would have also 5 seconds between every spin, and I don't think you have that. So I actually think that your explanation might be better.
Yeah.
Weirdly. Okay, I mean, bit of a mad theme. No. Seen reviews. Maybe I played it a little bit in demo. They also reskinned this game to like a candy theme, and I saw the review for that. And I think this was actually one of the games where Push might have done like a little bit of copycatting. Could be wrong about that.
Push, but this is Push.
Yeah, I know, but they might have
so that they copycatted somebody else.
Yeah. So, yeah, in the Big Win Board review, they said that the Rune Maker's Double Max is essentially the same game, which is kind of true, because basically what you have here is a lot like an Yggdrasil Double Max type thing with the multiplier doubling and then scatter pace on that.
Yeah.
That's essentially the game. And yeah, there's other games that have that. Or there is.
It's a very appealing looking game. I do enjoy what they've done with it graphically.
Yeah, I quite like the graphics too.
Because it's kind of like it's hard to understand what it is actually that they're trying to do. So it becomes almost abstract.
Yeah.
But when it comes to abstract direction, it's close to reality.
Yeah. I'm just like, again, they did a candy version of this as well, and I really hope that this does better. I'm not sure it actually will, but just because I'd much rather look at, weird stuff like this when we have, so many games that we have coming out, than more candy and more of the same thing, So it's like, yeah, maybe this is a bit. It would be weird if this was like really the most common theme. And this is something we have to look at all the time because it kind of doesn't fully make sense. But it's still new, and that's nice. And it still
Yeah.
follows all the rules that we want, so that we can follow the symbols and whatnot.
Yeah. It's kind of like what is that show again where they have these robots killing other robots? Robo Wars.
Yeah, battle bots they're called now.
Yeah.
But
But
yeah,
then
Robo
like
Wars back in the day.
but then like a toddler version.
Yeah, exactly. They don't look super effective, these.
No. Here you win if the other bot can push you over or something.
Yeah. But you would see that in that program sometimes, like some bots would come in and they would like focus on the decor and like, oh, we look like scary, and you would know that this bot has no chance at all. Because they're like trying to look scary or have like flashing lights that will distract the opponent, and you're like, you ain't distracting shit, bro.
Or like a fire thrower going up against an all metal opponent. It's like, okay, great. Put me on fire if you can.
And I would flip you 10 meters into the air. Like, it is crazy seeing that live. I really recommend it if anybody is around. I think most of their action is happening in Vegas. It's so cool.
Oh, you've seen it there?
Yeah.
That sounds really, like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Smell must be interesting as well, though. Isn't it like the smell, like a mixture of gasoline, burning rubber, burning plastic?
Yeah, I wasn't like, because it's in like a cage, or like it's in like a plastic or sort of plexiglass, like plastic glass kind of cage as well. Because these things, like, they are huge, like they're really, really big and heavy, and they still fly like 5 meters up in the air, and like it's really quite violent in there, and like little bits and parts will like fly out like bullets towards you, so you can't really, you need to have it entirely caged in, so you don't smell that much because of that.
Tricky to trigger the bonus.
I mean, Push is in a very interesting kind of state now. They're coming out with, oh, this was a cool little feature. Okay, so we removed all the, I guess we get to keep going now. No, that's a bit disappointing, considering how rare that thing was, or how rare it has felt.
You were saying Push is in an interesting position?
Yeah, because they have ramped up massively their production schedule, but they've always been a little bit like, I mean, they come from a heritage of quality first, and kind of delaying games when they don't feel like it's enough or it's good enough. But I've seen now that they have a lot of games coming out where quite a lot of them are quite simple, to be honest, and it doesn't seem like they are trying as hard to be like innovating on the greatest new mechanic, but maybe they never really were that fussed about that. And so I think there's going to be quite a lot of games coming out now, maybe still within a good, and then I guess it's up to us if we feel like the quality is still there, and like the impact and the innovation is still strong enough to uphold, considering the great heritage that they come from.
Yeah. So they're basically going down the play and go pragmatic kind of route.
They could, I guess that's what they want to avoid, is becoming another play and go kind of story. There's quite a few studios that have started to drown. Honestly, Relax a little bit as well now has kind of gotten, kind of lost a lot of the spotlight. And I know from speaking with them as well that they have been thinking about changing their product philosophy a bit as a result, and like kind of the product strategy is going to be different.
Yeah, it's a different approach to making games if you go down that path.
Yep.
It's more about the commercial relationships rather than the actual game development almost.
Yeah, it could be. I don't think, if you speak to Push, they're not going to say that they are any less concerned about their product at all, of course. And they might not be, in their mind, so to speak. The question is, can they kind of combat the natural results of of such a strategy, you know, because it might be that nobody wants that to happen, but it just automatically happens every time you start to make, you know, more than 30 games per year or something like that.
Yeah.
Or 20 games per year or whatever.
Yeah, it is going to impact. For some reason, it always impacts, even if you kind of want to seclude like a main team that just focuses on the top games.
Yeah.
You saw the same with NetEnt. NetEnt tried that approach where you basically had their Stockholm studio making flagship games.
Yeah.
Was it like 3 or 4 a year? And then, I don't remember, was it in Kiev, their other studio, or Poland maybe, doing the rest?
Yeah, I think it was Poland.
What is that?
Okay, it charges up that one.
Yeah. But it needs a win to do it, because we've had the
still
number
kind of
before.
lackluster, honestly. Like these features that, you know, you're waiting so long for them to do anything, and then it feels like, okay, that was worth like half an X at most. Like just going up one step on that board, that's not a whole lot.
No, but we've had
else.
We've had the number 5 appearing in there as well.
Yeah, but even then, you still got to combine it with a win.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a bit like, could I get some more? Oh, there we got it. Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now I'm expecting major wins here. So the left side is gonna be sticky, right?
Okay, already at 8. That's decent. Oh no!
What? It's not sticky.
It doesn't stay. Right, it doesn't stay. Right. Green button. Okay.
Doesn't look promising.
Something happened. It stayed. No,
what?
That was just a big win.
Okay. 10x. No, 20x. I think the Swedish translation of free spin, gratis snurr, is one of the funniest things ever.
Yeah, it's never really made sense.
No.
Okay, come on now. This is the important one. Nah.
I mean, it's a long way up to the 2000 multiplier there.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think honestly, like maybe that's the whole reason they wanted to try if Candy is a outsized performer, and so they took a simple game and they made it twice.
Yeah, let's see. I'm curious how they would establish the success though if you're not gonna launch it at the same time.
Yeah.
Eternal
Very
Dusk.
different. Very different look here.
Compared to what they've done before, or compared to what we just played?
Compared to what we just played.
Yeah. But also kind of to what they've done before, I feel.
Kind of. I mean, it's mostly the character design there. It's a lot of detail, and her face is quite small. I think that part is a bit different. But they've always been toying a little bit with, these kind of fantasy horror things. One of their early games was the whole vampire. Do you remember that vampire hold and win game?
Vaguely.
Yeah, I think we played it here, but that was like one of their first games, which sometimes indicates as well that that's the one you're wanting to do the most when you start a studio, and like your second or third game is usually like a big reason you started a studio.
Yeah. I think the art looks kind of AI.
Could be. The girl could be kind of AI.
I was more looking at the canister, like the and the light, the lamp.
Yeah. So what makes you say that?
Because it's exposure, overexposure, and it's much more detail I find than what they usually do. This one especially.
Yeah.
This is something that Midjourney would come up with if you asked to give a... What is this, a carafe? A vase? Carafe.
Yeah.
With some grapes. But then again, you kind of have the same feeling here, so I think it's just more a style than actual AI.
Yeah, but that smudging as well is a bit suspicious on the queue there. And you can see how it's kind of been... Yeah, kind of smudging.
Is smudging a word?
I don't know, but I think there's like a smudge tool in Photoshop where you like push out the color out. I don't know if it's actually what they've done there, but it's kind of looks like it some places. But what a lot of people do these days is nice with 96%. What a lot of people do, especially if you want to outsource your art, which a lot of companies outsource their art these days. Big Studios doesn't, and I have no idea if Slotmill does. But they like to work with AI first, and then they kind of paint over it and maybe do a bit of smudging or maybe doing a bit of fixing, like if there is something wrong with the vase so that the lid or like the handle doesn't properly attach to the right place. They would kind of adjust that. So yeah, painting over AI art is kind of the way a lot of people work these days. So really blurring the lines between what's AI art and what isn't. And I think you're just going to lose the concept before too long. It's just going to be art in the end, I believe.
It's also a very interesting symbol hierarchy if you look at it. It's kind of... So obviously you have the person.
Yeah.
But then it becomes quite weird.
I think they definitely could have pushed up the skull to be the second highest, because that has a face that is even bigger than the girl's head almost. Or like the eye is almost as big as the girl's head. Face.
I would have taken that as the first one even.
Yeah. But especially if you could have made that one like a little bit golden or something, if you wanted it to be a high pair or like a stronger color, like if it wasn't so green, you could have really pushed it up. But even if it was purple, then you could have probably made a nicer high pair out of that, or like a second highest, and make it...
Give it some golden teeth or something, or like a diamond in its eye socket.
Yeah, or just put it on like a nicer kind of background that looked like it was paying a little bit more, and then make its dominant color something higher in the hierarchy or warmer.
What do you know about the feature of this game?
No, I can't remember it, to be honest. I have played it on demo, but I've forgotten. So that's a mystery in and of itself. Okay.
Kind of reminds me of the old pragmatic play games as well.
Okay. Yeah. What, like the ghost house type things, or?
No, just the quality and the way of designing the multiplier when they came on the reels.
Right.
Felt like there was a time, especially a few years back, where pragmatic play was all about just copying the look and feel of the IGTs in land-based. And it kind of has that feeling to me as well here.
Right.
Which maybe is a strategy because they want to go into the US market. Slotmill has publicly said that US is important to them.
Yeah.
So maybe they're trying to be a bit more American this way.
I wonder if it's a conscious choice with the reel stop. Like there's no bounce on the reel stop, making it feel quite... Yeah, you could say it hurts immersion. You could say it simplifies things and make it easier to look at. Okay, nice, big win. 20x. Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
There it is.
Nice.
Cowabunga.
Okay. Okay, so she is the underworld.
Is she Hades'
queen
wife or something?
Goddess of death. Trying to think of like in the game Hades. Who was there? Because you had the god of death, then his wife. Yeah, it's confusing.
I thought Hades was the god of death, but he's just the god of the underground, maybe, or what? Or
yeah,
the
I don't
underworld.
remember.
Okay. Yeah, right. So now I remember. We just get the multipliers on all the wilds. Oh no, okay, right. The sticky wild gets multiplied. But that's pretty nice that it was 8 there and there was quite a lot of multipliers around.
Yeah.
Or wilds around.
So I wonder if that experience is different every bonus then. That it's not an 8 but another value. How do we actually progress at the top?
I thought that was
the bonus symbol maybe?
Yeah, maybe that's the bonus symbol actually, yeah.
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 If we would have gotten a bonus symbol there, probably wouldn't have gotten another 5 spins. There's this one YouTuber that I follow who reviews video games. And he made a video earlier where he was talking about these are the games that brought me the most joy.
Yeah.
And it was just purely rated on that.
Yeah.
And nothing else mattered.
Yeah.
And then it's quite different than what the normal kind of review sites rates a game, I feel like.
Yeah, exactly. I think there's like 3 ways that I can think of right now to sort of look at it. You could do what he does. How much fun did you actually have? And just straight up, like if you could measure your happiness by your heart rate or something, you could just take that as a straight up score almost.
Yeah.
And then the other one is like how well have they crafted this slot? Like how good have the staff or the people involved been at doing, making a game? And then the third one is like how good of a game is this within its sort of what it's trying to do, in a sense, like, if you know what I mean, like how nice is the tool to hold, how well have the tool been crafted, and how good is the tool at doing what it's supposed to do, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, but then you don't take into account the innovation that you were talking about.
Then I would put innovation at the first one, because for me, I become happier when I play something new. And if I'm not getting happier by the newness of it, then I don't think it's valuable innovation at all. Then it's the kind of innovation that you just go in the toilet. Yeah. So I would say I'm with this guy that you're talking about. That like, because I would be like, oh shit, this was something entirely new. And then if it's kind of bad in the long run, yeah, that's fine. It will still get 1 or 2 more points from me just for the fact that it gave me a new experience when I tried it at first.
It's a good approach, because innovation is not necessarily important for everybody. So you just take it in your first category, and then. But then I think you should you should rate a single game on all those 3 categories, and then take the average. Could
do, or or we could be 3 people that each do their own thing, and we just say this is my score, this is my score, this is my score, and then you get like a. Yeah, you can identify with the reviewer that you identify with, and be like, okay, this is how I think as well.
I'm hoping to get some more wilds, so we get to see the value increase of the wild going to the next stage. Okay, so there we got another wild. Close call.
Yeah.
Okay, so last time it turned into an 8. So now it's just times 4. Yeah. So it's pure luck about how many wilds we got on that stage.
Yeah. That's a really important spin then. You really need to land wilds.
Yeah.
Or maybe.
mean, you can imagine if you get to the last stage here. That
Yeah,
you're
they
very,
stick
very
until
happy.
the last stage. So it's not just
Yeah.
about that spin. You want to catch as many wilds now
Yeah.
during this stage here so that they can come in and multiply, and then they're going to disappear. So it's kind of like a both good and bad situation in the sense that you lose wilds, but you get the multiplier. But it's worth it because you get more spins, but still.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it is a fun mechanic to kind of chase the bonus.
Mm.
But all in all, 6, 7, I think is a very reasonable score here.
Yeah. We didn't lose too much this session, right?
No, we did not. I think I was somewhere at 13,000, so maybe...
Nice.
Yeah, 400 or something like that I lost.
Yeah.
Not
I mean,
too
it goes
much.
in line with, I think, how we rated these games as well. I think we were kind of on point. Like, they are good. They are break even.
Yeah.
All checks out.
Yeah. All right, Carl. Thanks a lot for today.
Thanks yourselves. It was really fun. As always.
Take care, man.
See you later, everyone. Cheers. Bye.